Live where Danelo Cavalcante, I think I said it right, probably wrong, escapee from the prison not far from here. So I'm gonna go ahead and get you guys set up on a live stream so you can watch the grass grow or the prisoner coming in through the backyard, whichever one comes first. We are told to shelter. Well, way it is. All right, guys, I'm gonna kill the stream and come back in landscape mode. So just a few minutes here. Hold wait. Really bad glare. Unless do you guys want it like this? You tell me. Here, I'm gonna take this over the shade. I can't see in the comments what you guys are saying. Thank you guys, by the way, for joining. And those off of Portland Andy, huge thank you. You know, you never know when you're gonna get a boost from your hometown. And shout out to Andy, thank you, man. Throwing the help my way. It's tough to figure this game out, the social media gig. So very gracious when people out there that have followings, as you want to call them. I kind of don't like that term. It's like fans of the page, fans of the channel. I hate followers because it's like I grew up in I was born in 77. I grew up in the 80s and 90s. If you said you were a follower to an adult, they would scream at you that you're supposed to be a leader. So it's like so weird that we use that term that my generation was taught not to use. So we'll call it fans of the page, fans of the channel. Keeping my eye out for an escaped convict, by the way, if you're wondering why I'm not making a lot of eye contact. So getting sick of being cooped up in the house. I'm gonna bring this stream back in landscape mode if you guys want it. Let me check the comments. I don't know how the super chat stuff works. I gotta get better. I gotta get more proficient at this game. So just here, I'll flip the camera so you're gonna stare at me. Go back to the cornfield. Tomorrow I'll be live. I know. What am I doing chasing convicts? Yeah. So, and thank you guys. Thank you. I noticed my subscribers jumped up. Honestly, we're headed towards the most subscribers I've ever gotten in one day, which is nuts, right? So, huge thank you guys. I've covered tornadoes and hurricanes for national news networks and not got as many subscribers on events as I have today. So I'm just one dude that goes around the country chasing crazy weather. That I went to go visit my brother, and you know, my brother's the only family I got really out here, and you know, other than my close friend in Florida. And I decided I wanted my kids to come up and see and then I got a job offer in New York that I'll be telling you guys about as soon as I can. That's connected to the weather. It's a huge opportunity. Anyways, just on what we call a little vacay, and all of a sudden up the road a prison break happens, and now this little Amish country of middle of nowhere is the hot spot for the news. And I'm here. I swear this is how my life has been, though. And what I mean by that is 1986, space shuttle blows up. All the news media was already at my school because Dick Scobie Elementary went to that school. Long story short, they renamed it Dick Scobie Elementary. Cameras are there. My class was the one that everybody saw on the news when they showed the classroom crying, the teachers crying. Not at the space shuttle, because this is in Auburn, Washington. My whole life's been like this. 9/11, I wasn't far away, or after 9/11, I wasn't far away when the London bombings happened and they shut down New York. It was just a year or two after 9/11 I was in New York. I could literally go down. My whole life has been like this crazy. I grew up right by where the Green River Killer did his killings, not far from where Ted Bundy's first killings happened. Again, I was a baby then, baby to like little kid like my son is. So it's just, my friends back home have been like, of course you're right by where all this is happening. This is so you. And it's like, I don't know how this energy follows, but here I am, middle of nowhere, Amish country, cornfield, capital of nowhere, and we got an escaped convict. We got some turkey vultures over here. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw it back to the field for you guys. But if you want, I'll kill this stream. This phone is red hot. I probably need to switch this out. I have to do this during major events when the phones get too wet. They'll get switched out. I'll keep a bag of rice, throw the phones in the rice, and within a few hours they'll be back to as good as new. A little trick out there for you guys that have to do it. Keep a bag of rice with you. Gets the phones dried out quick. Oh yeah, and this is my setup because I lost my tripod in the hurricane. I haven't had a chance to get a new one, so don't laugh too hard. We're doing it. So, but we seem to have a lot of people on the stream, so I think I'll just leave it here. But I will come back in landscape mode on the next stream. This phone will probably overheat. But I'm just really grateful for you guys. And I've done a poor job on YouTube. Definitely have done a poor job of bringing you guys. I'm gonna just come clean to YouTube right now. I've done way better with Facebook. And I don't have there's a lot of times it's just that I'm low on phones and I have a lot more followers on Facebook. And there's times I've gotten frustrated with YouTube. And then there's a lot of times, this is no joke, if we're cutting a pizza pie up, 50% of the time, YouTube will not click in service. YouTube and Facebook will keep service through a tornado, through a hurricane. Sometimes you just blow on the phone wrong and YouTube won't connect. So I don't know what the deal is there. But through just frustration and a little bit of just lack of vision, I've done a poor job of bringing YouTube. So my Facebook's way more active. You'll see way more there. And I need to bring everybody up to the same level. I'll get better. So that's what's up. And I'm going to go rally this little 4.5-year-old. And my daughter should be home soon. And then we all get to go sit inside again and wait for this trum. I don't want to say anything regretful, but wait for this to be over. I try not to cuss on my channel. Portland Andy's a little more loose with the words, but I get teachers that will have my channel on for their children, so I try to tidy it up for the kids. So that is something you'll see. Is I'll try to shiitakes my go-to. Foobar. I got a couple of them, but I tried to replace the language out. So I'm conscious of anyway. Sometimes there's mistakes, it happens. But that is why, if you're gonna ask why am I not as loose with it as him. I gotta say, Andy does an incredible job of finding a way to bring new. Here's a prime example, right? Him and I made a contact 2 years ago. I think it was right after Hurricane Ida in Louisiana. Oh my gosh, my memory's getting terrible now. Been through too much. A couple hurricanes ago, and then what did I do next? Gosh, my friend back home he's in the loop. Hi Pro Cam in the comments. You guys got to shout him out or thank him, because in Andy's comments, I went to high school with him, and he's always kept me in the loop. I just get crazy busy and things happen, but he keeps a thumb on the pulse. So shout out to Cameron. But and then he did it for another. So the last two hurricanes, Ian, he did it for Ian too. So Ida, Ian, and now this. And I could be missing a fourth one. I feel like there was a tornado event that happened back in Texas. I feel like he streamed either either when Powderly, Texas got hit, or Idabel, Oklahoma. I don't know. I don't want to bore you guys with it, but Portland Andy's been very gracious to my channel multiple times. So I want to just take a moment to thank him. And ironically, my tie to Portland is I grew up there. I grew up, not Portland, it was a little town outside of Portland, but I worked in Portland for many years. Many years, 20 years I worked in Portland doing HVAC for a variety of companies. And I won't bore you guys. You guys all know all the big heating and air conditioning companies out there. Jacobs Heating was the one that sponsored me my first year in storm chasing. So big shout out to Jacobs Heating for taking the risk when I had 0 subscribers and technically making me a professional chaser before I deserved to be one. But they sent me a bunch of hat, gave me a check for gas, and said, go do it. But Brent Jacobs always knew this was my dream, to go chase tornadoes and help victims of storms. So he took a risk on me, and it paid off big for them. And then I ended up getting seen on the Weather Channel, and my life's never been the same since. So that's just a quick. Oh, here comes my daughter. I think so. I think this is her bus. So. I'm gonna go grab her, but it's been, nope, maybe not. Nope, that bus was going too fast. Oh yeah, that's not the right number. I think it's this next one. Maybe not. So it's weird, like, people are trying to live normal lives while this maniac's on the loose. it makes for a very interesting and difficult time to try to be normal. And the crazy thing is I came back from the hurricane and I took a seat. I went under. I shut off I disconnected, and I do this every hurricane. I disconnect afterwards, anywhere from 3 to 7 days, to just get my mind right, filter out. The problem is in years past, I would watch social media and I'd watch news after, and I would see so much BS. And so it would cause me to rage online and just start freaking, taking things way too personal. And it's hard not to. It's hard not to be emotional when you see the death and destruction. And you're in it. You're in it. Like, I'm in it. I'm the one guy that can saw everything for the most part. So when you start seeing the beat, because that's today's news, is changing what actually happened. Not always, but a lot of cases fit the narrative of whatever they're trying to change it for. And so I would come out of hurricanes, and it was always difficult for me to come back into normal society. That still is not the easiest, but I've gotten better after 4 of them now. And so, but I've just customarily take a break after a hurricane. I just shut down, hang out with kids. And this year I got to be with my brother and his kids and my kids, and so it's easy just to set the phones down and disconnect. And then I come back to, it was Portland Andy that I saw it. I jumped on YouTube and it says, escaped inmate in Pennsylvania. And I'm like, what? Where? I was hopping on to edit some videos of my hurricane, which I still haven't. I've done a terrible job of putting out the footage from the hurricane. And so I started watching his cover, and lo and behold, I'm like, wait, that's not far from me at all. What the hell? And so, oh, you hear it? You hear the helicopter? Yeah, I can hear it too. I don't see it, but I hear it. Yeah, you can hear the helicopter. So yeah, that's in a gist. But I originally came from Monmouth, Oregon, before I went on this crazy tour and Weather Channel, Travel Channel, national news. I'm just from a tiny little town of 5,000 people. Well, now it's 10,000. It's doubled in size since I left. But so I always like to let people back in Oregon know that that's where it all started out there. And now I'm out here in Pennsylvania with some escaped convict running through fields, which I don't want to promote this guy at all because he's a scumbag for what he did. But if we're just going to judge the merit of a giant game of hide and seek, it's hard not to be impressed with his body of work. Please don't be mad at me for saying that. The state of Pennsylvania has pretty much an unlimited, you can hear the helicopter big time. I don't see it, but I can hear it. The state of Pennsylvania, we just go with, they have an unlimited budget, right? They can throw more money at it. This guy has simply got to go with whatever he can find at his fingertips at the moment. And here's the baffling part. He has not gotten more than 20 miles away from the prison. That part is just, I just am baffled. It's almost like he's enjoying this and haha, look, I'll be over here tomorrow. And it's really got everybody on edge out here. And now here's where the challenge begins. Is I can tell you, day 13, we went to the grocery store the other day, and it's all the chatter because we're not far from it, and everybody's ready to shoot this guy. And that's what happened. And my girlfriend was actually on the flight. This is how crazy this gets. Here's another layer to this. My loving little one, but we've made it work for 3 years now. She's in San Diego. I'm out here on the East Coast. She came out and visited me and the kids, and she flew back this morning, 5 a.m. A ton of police cars were coming by as she was on the Uber. So she gets to the flight, gets on the plane, and she's deadheading back, so she's not working it, just sits on the, her seat. Guy sits next to her, super nice country guy in his 60s, starts talking about, oh, can you believe what's going on? My neighbor was the one. Turns out he was the neighbor of the guy that shot at him and got the gun taken from him. And so the story is it was a youngster, little guy like him, like the prisoner, escapee. So little guy versus little guy, and the guy somehow wrestled the gun away the rifle, and then the guy that shot him had a pistol but missed him, and then the Danelo went running into the forest right next to this garage where it was at. And so she got screenshots of where the house, the property, to show. She had a full conversation. I got to give my girl credit. She did an amazing interview with the guy. So I'll have all that up later, and I'll try to make sure I get it to YouTube. And so this whole thing is just layers, and now here it is, literally in my backyard. So sorry you guys just got to watch corn and grass grow, but that's where we're at with this. Tomorrow I will be mobile. Tomorrow, if this enters another day and it doesn't look like he's ran from the state, like I don't think he will, tomorrow we will be mobile. So, and again, I can't see the comments because the glare off the screen is just righteous. So bear with me. I gotta take it over to the shade here. But it's crazy. This whole thing is just nutty bar. Like, it doesn't even, none of it makes sense. All right, let's see what you guys think. Have I met Timmer? Yes. Yep. Me and Timmer are actually rivals. So I'm not going to burst your bubble. Great guy, nice guy. We have a friendly rivalry, but it's a funny one because it's a David and Goliath one. And I'm just the single dad, barely shoestring budget, making it. And he's the YouTube Goliath. And but we've been on a lot of the same Storm fans, and there's Storm fans like there's sports fans. Believe it or not, there are Storm fans. Oh, I think this is my daughter's bus coming, and this phone's nuclear red hot, by the way. But there are Storm fans that follow us like sports fans follow football teams. And they can tell you that we've been on a lot of the same storms over the last 3 years. When I entered this, nope, not my daughter. That's a short bus. So keep it moving. So yeah, him and I, Ryan Hall and I, have not done any work together, but I know he follows my stuff closely because he has sampled some of my work for his own, and he has done a great job of helping those in disaster recovery. And but no, I've not met him, and I've not worked with him, but he has sampled some of my work. So, but I don't mind being sampled. It's part of the gig. Before I got into this, I'm sure I could give you a list of people that you can see my work through. So I've learned to take no offense to it. I take it as a compliment, and he's got a much larger platform than me, and he's able to do a lot more. So I'm just glad I could give him a few ideas last year, and we're all better for it. So it is not a competition for public safety, and so I respect both those guys and admire their bodies of work. So that's probably the best I can say about it. But it is a competition in a sense. There's a competitive nature between us storm chasers that we're all vying for the shot, and we can all act like it's not a competition, but there's a core group of us that go extra hard and extra far than majority, and I could probably count on one hand, and Reed Timmer's easily one of them. So he's probably the GOAT. I'd have to be real, he's probably the GOAT. And especially this year, what he's done, he kind of had a couple off years, and truthfully that's probably where I got lucky. I got real lucky on a couple of his down years. And then, you know, my friends are Mike Pierce and Chael Sonnen coming from Oregon. So I took a page out of their book and talked a little. I picked a fight with the most popular guy, and not really fight, but like a storm chaser fight. And nobody's done that. Nobody's ever talked smack about. And I have to credit Chael for that one. He was definitely dead on that. And it wasn't the smartest thing because it didn't endear me to a lot of people, but it worked. So, and then as times went on, him and I chased near each other on enough stuff, and then we have mutual friends as well. So, and then we actually had a situation happen down in Houma, Louisiana, in Hurricane Ida. And once upon a time, I wanted the whole world to know every nitty little gritty detail about that. But as time's gone on, I don't feel like that is beneficial to my what I'm doing. I don't think anybody wins. So I've decided what happens on the field stays on the field. But he kind of did me dirty. But I found out that was just the price of admission. And I did a few online fights with him, so I had it coming in a sense. I can respect it. But yeah, so we got to really meet each other real face-to-face for many hours in Hurricane Ida. So we were near each other in Hurricane Laura. Hurricane Ian, everybody got separated. I don't know. And then there was no cell phone coverage, or no radar, excuse me. So how we had cell phone coverage was beyond me. But we had no radar, so I didn't see anybody's spots on radar. And I'm sorry for those tuning in for a prison break and you're getting all this weather dork talk. But I must make the transition between the two so you guys can understand how this became. So for the 3 of you left on the stream that want to hear it, I appreciate it. But yeah, ironically, I ended up finding Portland Andy's channel during 2020 before I was ever even had my own channel. And in 2020, I want to say during the riots, I don't know, it just came up on my feed one day and I was like, what the heck? This guy in Oregon has... And see, the algorithms are weird. I think it might have been because I went to Oregon. One thing I can tell you guys, and this is for content creators especially, or people that know them, your phone acts as a transponder on YouTube. And what I mean by that is I found this out when I went and covered the fires. If you go down my channel long enough, back in 2021, I covered the Dixie fire complex, the Dixie complex fire, excuse me. And here, I'll just give you guys a new view. That one's getting boring. And when I went in to interview the head honcho, when I rolled in, all of a sudden, all these firefighters were kind of like coming out of their dorms or whatever. These, like, it's the best way to call it. It's not. And they were like, hey, that's the guy that does the tornado. And I'm like, how do you know who I am? And the guy goes, your channel is pinging our phones. And so when they pulled up YouTube, I pull up on their phone because I'm right by them. And this is middle of nowhere, California, up in the mountains. If you look at where the Dixie fire was, it was in Northern California in a pretty remote area. And we were granted access because I had my press badge. I still do, still work for press. But at the time, it was my first press assignment. And so that was how I found out. And then when we went around the nation, we found that people would say in the comments, hey, I'm following you from here. And it's like we were just there chasing a tornado. So I went back home, and I think that was what happened is it came up on the algorithms. And so I've watched Portland Andy's channel grow the whole time. I don't think he had but 8,000 subscribers, maybe less than. Look at this big old turkey vulture. Just pull up. So anyways, I know there's a lot of bickering here for a nothing shot. I don't have anything on it. I'm not mobile today, guys, but it seems like everybody would rather stare at a field than nothing. So giving the people what they want. But that's the story in a nutshell. And then fast forward to now. But I have an opportunity. I'll be working for a national news agency, storm chasing for them across the United States. So I envision my life's going to be really different really soon. And that's part of the reason I've stayed in Pennsylvania, as the place is out of New York. So, but my life will be changing even more soon enough. So I appreciate the journey. YouTube has been there the whole time. 3 years ago it started. Facebook, I didn't start my professional page till a little over a year and a half ago. So, but between the two there, and on my personal YouTube channel, or Facebook channel, which is Kyle Cutton. That was, for the longest time, I just posted everything on my personal. I didn't understand how the game was played. I didn't get it. I still barely do. But just through my Forrest Gump luck, right place or wrong place at the right or wrong time, depending on whose view, I've just gotten lucky. So, but shout out to the Weather Channel and the show Deadline to Disaster for this my daughter? Nope. Taking a chance on me, and the next news station that is about to go down with, I'm incredibly grateful. So it's awesome to get you guys right as it's all happening. All right, I'm gonna go check on my son, and I'm still keeping a vigilant eye for a prisoner. I can't see your comments because the glare is insane off this phone, and if it cuts out, it's probably because this thing overheated. But I'll throw another phone up, and I'm gonna go landscape with the next one.